thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. This does not look like a second place finish. I saw Sleepy Joe. He had about 12 people and unable to fill up his circles. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Pennsylvania, we love Pennsylvania. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. This is a nice rowdy crowd, isn't it, huh? Only in Pennsylvania. You know, we win Pennsylvania, we win the whole deal. You know that, huh? Just like last time. We want to have the same result as we had last time. Hello, Scranton. Hello, Pennsylvania. Thank you very much. Tomorrow we are going to win the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, and we are going to win 4 more years in the White House. With your vote, we will continue to cut your taxes, cut regulations, support our great police, support our magnificent military, protect your Second Amendment, defend religious liberty, and ensure more products are proudly stamped with that beautiful phrase, made in the USA, right? More and more. Thank you. Thank you. Remember last time they said, no, Pennsylvania hasn't been won by a Republican for many, many years. Many years. And then we won. And it wasn't even close when you get right down to it. Thank you very much. Thank you. That's really nice. Don't make me cry. I'll cry with that whole thing. I'll cry. And then they'll have it on. They'll say the president broke down and cried in front of his fans. And I don't know. Hey, maybe that would lift you up, right? You pick up 10 points for crying. I say I still don't want to do it. Thank you very much. No, it's really nice. Thank you. Nobody's ever heard that chant before. You know, it's never a chant that anybody's ever heard any political. We like Ronald Reagan, we like people, but nobody's ever heard of that chant, and we appreciate it. Next year will be the greatest economic year in the history of our country. We have the foundations already going. Under my leadership, our economy is now growing at the fastest rate ever recorded. Last Friday it was released. 33.1%, the fastest. We created a record 11.4 million jobs in the last 5 months, while foreign nations are in a free fall, and you see what's happening all over the world. We are creating an economic powerhouse unrivaled anywhere in the world. We went down less, and we've gone up much more. Nobody close. A recent Gallup poll found that 56% of Americans say they are better off today than they were 4 years ago. If Biden and Kamala, you know Kamala, right? Kamala. Remember, it's the Harris-Biden administration when he said that. The Harris-Biden, no, Joe, you're supposed to go first, Joe. But Harris and the radical left, and she is radical left. She's farther, I guess you could say Bernie is a conservative by comparison, right? Now she's the most far left. The radical left gained power. They will collapse our economy and send Pennsylvania into a steep depression. Don't worry about it. It's not going to happen. I don't think it's going to happen. It's not going to happen. We're going to win. We've got some big surprises. Oh, look at all of the fake news. Look at all of the fake news. Hey, David, turn the mic up. Turn the mic up. Biden will raise your taxes $4 trillion, massively increasing your regulations. They're going to increase your regulations, maybe more important than the tax cuts. We gave the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, and maybe more importantly, we did regulation cuts, which were also the biggest in the history of our country, whether it be 4 years, 8 years, or in one case more. Shut down your economy, close down manufacturing, send your jobs overseas, destroy our suburbs, and he will destroy our suburbs. So I say to the women of the suburbs, love me, women of the suburbs, love me. I terminated the regulation. Dissolve your borders, terminate religious liberty, outlaw private health care. 180 million people, outlaw. They're going to have socialized medicine. That's what they're going to have. Somehow I don't see Pennsylvania liking that too much. Confiscate your guns, Second Amendment, in big trouble. And indoctrinate your children with anti-American lies. I just signed an executive order to teach our students pro-American values. Biden has vowed to abolish, extinguish, and eradicate American oil, all fracking and natural gas. And, you know, I say this because we'll give it an extra little time. This is Pennsylvania. This is a state that's a wonderful state. I went to school here. I went to college here. And I'll tell you what, and I know it well, a big part of your livelihood, your money, your income, your low taxes is fracking. He spent over a year saying he will not allow fracking. The first time he came into Pennsylvania as the nominee, which was a shock to everybody. Everybody. All Elizabeth, Pocahontas, Warren had to do is leave 2 days early, and it would have been Crazy Bernie instead of Sleepy Joe. I would have had a crazy guy instead of a sleepy guy. But he came in, and after going for 1 year, and she forgot it, she still can't say it. She can't say it. But he said, no, we will ban fracking. We will ban fracking. That's what he said many, many times. Once he got the nomination, he came to Pennsylvania. They said, you're going to have to do something because you have 1 million jobs, and it's a massive part of your wealth. So he walked in, and he went from, we will ban fracking, to, of course we can have fracking. What's the problem? Just remember this. It's always, yeah, that's right. He said, play the video. You know, I might not have that one in the video today. But, you know, he immediately changed, and the fake news, where is Hunter? Where's Hunter? Hunter's in a foreign country, taking in 25 million today. He's at a country that his father just left, picking up about 25 million. No, that's total corruption. But he went out, and he started talking about fracking, and he said, we will absolutely allow you, but not on government land, you know, not in government. And the press never held him accountable, and they never held him accountable for all of the corruption that he's a part of. Biden's plan to ban fracking is an economic death sentence for Pennsylvania. Biden's energy shutdown will wipe out your jobs, decimate your towns, eliminate your factories, and send your state into a nightmare of crippling poverty. You've been there. You've been there. You had the best 3 years that you've ever had under President Trump. The best 3 years. The best 3 years. And next year will be the best of all. Watch. You see it happening. If you look at housing starts, You look at automobile manufacturing, you're going to have your best year next year unless somebody decides to come along and quadruple your taxes. Then you're going down here, which is what he's going to do. A vote for Biden is a vote to ban fracking, outlaw mining, explode energy costs, and totally destroy Pennsylvania. You know that, right? It's going to destroy Pennsylvania. And it can happen. It can happen very fast. You take a look at a country. Take a look at Venezuela. Same ideology. And this was unbelievably wealthy, rich country, one of the richest countries. And now they don't have water. They don't have food. They don't have medicine. It's a very sad situation. It can happen here just much, much bigger. But it can happen here with these maniacs. And, you know, it's one of those things. Joe Biden is a globalist who spent 47 years outsourcing your jobs, opening your borders, and sacrificing American blood and treasure on ridiculous, endless foreign wars. Most of you have never even heard of some of these countries. He shuttered your steel mills. I got them open. I tariffed, very nicely tariffed, dumped steel. They were dumping steel. China was dumping steel all over the place. You ask the heads of your steel companies, you wouldn't have any steel companies right now. Annihilated your coal jobs and supported every disastrous trade deal for a half a century. He was a cheerleader of NAFTA, which was one of the worst trade deals ever made. We have a very good one now, thank you. And China's entry into the World Trade Organization, which lifted China into a great power, great economic power, except they were going to catch us. For 10 years, if you study, China was going to catch us in 2019. Guess what? We were going so far ahead. And frankly, if you have somebody smart, real smart in this position, they'll never catch you. They will never, ever catch you. But if you study the history, you'll see 10 years ago, 2019, they will catch, and they would have. If I didn't come along, they would have caught you. They would have caught you. And then we had the plague. We built the greatest economy in history. And then we had the plague come in from China, came in. We closed it down. We saved 2 million lives. We saved 2 million lives, and nobody gets it. The projection was 2.2 million modeled out. We saved 2 million lives. We understand the disease, and now we opened it up. And by the way, Pennsylvania, get your state open. Get it open. Terrible. Terrible. Your governor has to open your state, Pennsylvania, has to open your state. Terrible. Get it open. Get it open, Governor. Get it open and count the votes honestly, Governor. Count them honestly. There was a very good pollster last night, actually a good one. He has us winning everything, but he was on last night. How's he going to do in Pennsylvania? He was on a show called Sean Hannity. Have you ever heard of it? No, they said, how's he going to do in Pennsylvania? He's going to win Pennsylvania except for the cheating. We figure we have to leave 5% for the cheating that takes care. Can you believe it? For the cheating that takes place in Pennsylvania. And the guy meant it, a very great pollster, but he predicted we'd win the whole election. But the question was, what about Pennsylvania? He said, well, you have to leave 5% for the cheating. And when the Supreme Court gave you an extension, they made a very dangerous situation, and I mean dangerous, physically dangerous, and they made it a very, very bad, they did a very bad thing for this state. They did a very bad thing for this nation. You have to have a date. You can't extend dates. The danger that could be caused by that extension, and especially when you know what goes on in Philadelphia, and it's been going on for years. So, Governor, open up your state, and please don't cheat, Governor. Please don't cheat. Because we're all watching. We're all watching you, Governor. We have a lot of eyes on the governor and his friends. A couple of other governors out there, too. Pennsylvania lost half of its manufacturing jobs after... So Pennsylvania lost half of your manufacturing jobs. Think of it. Joe Biden is a corrupt politician who sold out to Pennsylvania, to China, and also sold out for personal gain and family gain. And where's Hunter? Is Hunter in the crowd? Is Hunter? Where's Hunter? In 2016, Pennsylvania voted to fire this corrupt political establishment, and you elected an outsider as your president who is finally putting America first. And if I don't sound like a typical Washington politician, it's because I'm not a politician. Probably why I'm here. If I don't always play by the rules of Washington or the Washington establishment, it's because I was elected to fight for you harder than anyone has ever fought. I will tell you that. Now think of everything we've been through. Look, from before I came to office, wait a minute, we'll do that in a second. Boy, you are an enthusiastic bunch. You are something. Well, first of all, you're known as a late voting state. That means you're smart. How about all the things? Hashtag, how do I change my vote? Did you see that? After the debate, the number one trend was, how do we change our vote? That was the debate. Did everybody see the debate? Yeah, they want to change their vote. A lot of people want, is this a change the vote state? Not so much, probably. I don't think your governor would let you do that. No, we have some states, they're changing the votes. And it was started with the debates, and then they see the rallies, the biggest rallies. By the way, and I'll say this to the fake news. In the history of our country, there's never been anything like this. There's never been anything like this. And this is at a pretty early part of the day. I wouldn't say it's exactly prime time. You had to see last night in Florida. It was amazing. But think of this. They right from before I even ran, I mean, I announced, maybe before I announced, they said, I hear Trump is, let's go in and do it. But think of it. We were under investigation for 3 years, and it turned out to be a phony hoax, and it was a phony impeachment, and based on the laptop from hell, the impeachment should have never happened. In fact, it should have happened against the other side, because it was the other side that cheated. It was the other side that dealt with Russia. But think of it. And then they say, President Trump, we don't know if we like his personality. President Trump, he's too rough. He's too tough. Let me tell you something. If we didn't have a certain type of personality, and if we didn't fight, we wouldn't be here right now. Because we caught them spying on our campaign and trying to take out a duly elected president of the United States. And I fought like hell because we don't know any other way. We have to fight. But we caught them, and they turned out to be the people that were corrupt. No collusion. They spent $48 million. They found no collusion. They had 18 angry Democrat prosecutors. I have friends that say there's probably nobody that, and he is one of the smartest, there's probably nobody that he knows that could have withstood that. So we had 18 angry, crooked Democrats. You had Bob Mueller that didn't have a clue. You had all of this stuff. Think of it. We went through that for 2.5, 3 years, and then they say, we don't like the way he acted. We were under siege illegally. They committed treason. They tried to take out a duly elected president, and we caught them. And then they say, I see it today. Then they say, wouldn't it be nice? And then I see these guys on television and all of the big tech stuff, which is probably worse than them, right? They're the new boss in town, right? Not the media. They just shut up the big tech. And, you know, we gave the power to the big tech, right? But now I say it, I look at it, and I say, gee, they're saying tough administration, chaos. They created the chaos. All we did was fight back, and we fought back well, and we caught them, and they're all caught. And now let's see what happens, okay? Let's see what happens. But we caught them. It's treason. They spied on our campaign. Nothing like that's ever happened. That's a bigger event. I would rate Biden second. His family and him took millions and millions and millions of dollars from countries that he deals with. He became vice president. He had a son that didn't have a job. He got thrown out of the military. And he went years with no job. And then he signs with Burisma for $183,000 a month. And then he wanted $3 million upfront payment. What's your experience? What do you know about energy? I don't know anything about energy. Oh, that's okay. We'll put you on the board anyway. And then he gets $3.5 million from the mayor of Moscow's wife. $3.5 million. Oh, gee, Hunter, what did you do? What did you do? You gave her some big advice, I guess, Hunter, right? And then they go to China. He takes out $1.5 billion to manage, which is millions and millions of dollars a year. And then the big one, I guess he had to stop that one because they found a laptop from hell. But the big one was a request to China to pay them $10 million a year, right? For recommendation services, for no services. It's a payoff. Hey, you know what it is? It's a payoff. And the big guy gets 10%. The big guy gets 10%. He's not a big guy. Boom. He's not a big guy. He's a little guy. The big guy gets 10%, and there was another one where the big guy gets 50%, right? But he wanted $10 million a year. And the tech and the media will not wait. The media will not. This is actually a very big moment in the history of our country because we have freedom of the press, but we don't. We have suppression by the press. It's suppression. And if anybody even mentions that story, you don't see that story in the New York Times. You don't see. That is the second biggest scandal in the history of our country. First is that they spied on my campaign. That's the biggest scandal. That's the biggest scandal. And they've got everybody scared. But you have a president that wasn't scared. You have a president that wasn't scared. They said, oh, and I see it. I see it with Twitter trending. I know what trending is better than anybody in the world. I've been trending my whole life. From the day I was born, I've been trending. I know trending, but they take a story, they make it worse. Boring story, boring stuff. They'll take something and they'll say, number one trending, Trump this, number one trend. It's not trending. What trends is stuff that you don't want to talk about right now. Not having to do with me either, by the way. Not having to do with me. Look, what we have and what's happened, and you've seen it all over the last 2 weeks, is a horrible, horrible thing. The media is fake and corrupt. Big tech controls the media, and they control the politicians. And you know what? You have a president that's willing to say it. And it's a very, very big event. And let's say, and I tell you what, I give Tucker Carlson, and I give Sean Hannity, and I give Laura, I give all the people that are willing to talk about it. No, the Tucker reports have been phenomenal. I give all of those people that are willing to talk about tremendous credit because people don't have any idea how dangerous this is for our country. They won't even think about it. A guy walks away with millions of dollars. He's vice president. His son's like a human vacuum cleaner. He follows his father and he takes the scraps. But the scraps are hundreds of millions of dollars. And we can't let this happen. We're putting a corrupt man up for possibly being elected. But here's the story. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we're going to have a tremendous day tomorrow. Tremendous day. And, you know, when he announces a speech in Scranton, Pennsylvania, you know, he said, I live in Pennsylvania. I was born in Scranton. He doesn't say that his father left, and there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I went to college in Pennsylvania, right? But I don't make the biggest deal of it. But I'm a man from Scranton. He left at 9 years old, and that's okay. That's okay. But this guy is a stone-cold phony, and honestly, he's not equipped mentally to be your president. He really is. You know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. I have foreign leaders calling me saying, are they serious? I say, one of them called, said, I see that you're down a little bit in the poll. I said, can you believe this could happen to me? I'd rather run against somebody that was good or even outstanding. But I think what we're going to have is one of the great days. You know, when he comes to Scranton and he gives a speech, you saw he's got the 6 circles. He can't fill them up. So he said, could you please move over here to the press? He puts the press out there. And look at this guy. I don't know how many people here, but there's a lot of people here. And it's windy as hell and it's cold and I couldn't care. Look at that flag. Look at that flag, bro. Oh, it's so beautiful. I've never seen a flag blow like that. You know what that means? That means it's windy as hell. That's what it means. Wow, look at that. That's thing sideways. But it's our American flag and we love it, right? Yesterday I was thrilled to be endorsed by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. Can you believe it? Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And it's first time I've ever really liked that paper. And then once you get rid of the first 1 or 2 paragraphs, it was great. He said, you might not like his tone, you might not like the way. And again, I'm a nice guy. I have to fight. Wait, I have to fight. I have to fight to protect me and to protect you. Because once I'm not here, there's nobody else to protect you. That I can tell you. But they gave a beautiful, you have to understand, everything's relative. They gave a beautiful, beautiful editorial, and I appreciate it. Oh! Thank you. It's the first time, thank you. Thank you. Telling you, you're going to make me cry with that. Stop. The president broke down in tears as they screamed, we love you. I don't know if President Xi of China wants to hear that. Yeah, he probably would like that. The first time the paper has endorsed a Republican for president in over a half a century. So to the people of the Post-Gazette, I would like to thank you. I will forgive you for your first 1 or 2 or 3 paragraphs. Because they said, however, he's done a great job. You know, and I have. I've done a great job. They said, put his personality aside. But I'm telling you, the assault on this office has changed my personality. It's just one of those things. Joe Biden is bought and paid for by big tech, big media, and powerful special interests. They own him, they control him, and they know he will always do their bidding. And you know, when he raises $300 billion like last month, I could raise much more than him. I'm president. I could call all these Wall Street guys, most of whom I know. I could call the oil guys. I could call them all. I would blow his numbers apart. Give me 2 hours. I'd say, send me $10 million. No, we don't need it. How many commercials can you buy? You know, we raised a lot of money. We raised enough money. You know, Crooked Hillary last time outspent us 4-1, right? 4-1. And I actually got criticized. They said the other day, even against Hillary Clinton, he didn't raise that much money. And you won the race, right? They don't care if you won or not. They said they always have to find something. But I would be the greatest fundraiser of all time. This is the President of the United States calling for the head of Goldman Sachs. Hello, how are you, Bill? Is everything good? Is everything good? Listen, I'd like $25 million within the next 5 minutes. Send it to the White House, please. What, do you think he's going to say no? I would be the greatest, but you know what? I chose not to do that, okay? I chose not to do that. And when you see he raised $300 million, his people are making deals all over the place. Every corrupt force in American life that betrayed you and hurt you, they are supporting Sleepy Joe Biden. The failed establishment that started the disastrous foreign wars, they support Biden. The career politicians that offshored your industries and decimated your factories, and you got it worse than anybody else, just about. New England was hit hard, too. They support Biden. The open borders lobbyists that killed our fellow citizens and gave them illegal drugs, destroyed our families and so many people, the gangs and crime, they support Sleepy Joe Biden. The far-left Democrats that ruined our public schools, depleted our inner cities, defunded our police, and demeaned your sacred faith and values, they support Joe Biden. And I see where they want to defund your great Philadelphia police, and you have great police. They want to defund your Philadelphia police. Have you seen that? They actually want to defund. They want to defund your police. I read it this morning. I don't know. I don't think it's a good idea. I don't think people should take it. You can't take it anymore, right? You can't allow it to happen. And every place we've gone into, within a half an hour, it was over. But they have to ask the federal government. They're embarrassed, or they're afraid, or they think they're going to lose support. We want to go into Portland. We'll settle that in 2 minutes. We were the ones that did the whole thing in Seattle. We told them we're going in the following morning. That night they raised their hands. They said, well, I think we'll leave now. They took over a big chunk of Seattle. No, we can't allow this stuff. You look at what's going on in Philadelphia. You look at that can't be done. And they can't tell the police to stand back. They can't tell that. They stand back and they watch people walk out with washing machines. Guys pushing a washing machine. That's a disgrace. It's a disgrace. And the world watches that. They're all Democrat-run cities and states. New York, Chicago, unfortunately Pennsylvania, and many of them are closed, right? Because you know why they're closed? Because they thought it would hurt our numbers, and then they saw 33.1. That was a big number. The anti-American radicals defaming our noble history, heritage, and heroes, they support Joe Biden. Antifa and the rioters and looters and Marxists and left-wing extremists, they all support Sleepy Joe Biden, Sleepy Joe. And by the way, just so you understand, because look, Joe has no clue, okay? He's not calling the shots. And I guarantee he won't be calling them for very long. This election comes down to a simple choice. Do you want to be ruled by the corrupt, selfless political class, or do you want to be ruled and governed by the American people, which is what we're doing, which is one of the reasons I'm doing it. A vote for Biden is a vote to give control of government over to the globalists, communists, socialists, the wealthy, liberal hypocrites who want to silence, censor, cancel, and punish you. If you want your children to be safe, if you want your values to be respected, if you want to be treated with honor, dignity, and respect, then I am asking you to go tomorrow and vote for Trump. Come on. Well, it's up to you, really. You got to get out. I'm telling you, again, I'll say it again and again. Pennsylvania, I've done very well. You've had your best years ever. Pennsylvania, it's going to be up to you. Such a big deal. Big state, everything. And we're doing great in Florida. Florida's been great. You notice they're not talking about Florida anymore. Florida's been great. We're doing great in Florida. So we get Florida, we get Pennsylvania. We're going to get North Carolina. We're doing great in North Carolina. You saw the poll come out yesterday in Iowa, way ahead in Iowa. We're way ahead in Ohio, except we get sometimes a fake poll. We're way ahead. We won Ohio by 8 points. They say we're further up than that this time because we have everything I talked about, we have done and more. We've done more than I talked about. Remember what I said 4 years ago. I am your voice. And we will make America great again. And that's what we're doing. For the last 4 years, the depraved swamp has tried everything to stop me because they know that I don't answer to them. I answer to you. And it's true. We did this together. This is a movement the likes of which this country, in a way the world probably, but this country has never seen. This country's never seen. You take some of the things that have happened over many, many years, a politician runs and comes in second in New Hampshire, becomes famous for the rest of his life. We won. Well, we won everything this time. We won 100% of the states in the primaries, right? But we won 34 states against a crooked person, right? A very crooked person. How crooked is, by the way, how crooked is Hillary? She deleted 33,000 emails. What's happening with that? But we won. We won like nobody's ever run. Nobody's ever won like we've won. No, the likes of which nobody's ever seen anything like it. And just to get off that subject for a second, we had 2016, we had a campaign. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. Can I be honest? There is much more enthusiasm for this campaign than there was 4 years ago. Because 4 years ago I came and I was a successful guy and I said, we're going to do this, we're going to cut your taxes, we're going to get rid of regulations, we're going to rebuild your military, we're going to this and that and that and that. And I did everything and more than everything. We're going to take care of our vets. We just got a 91% approval rating from the vets on the VA. Okay? Now, but think of it. We did everything we said we were going to do. But there is much more. And you know what? That was a record. There was never a campaign. Nobody's ever seen a campaign like that. That and Brexit. Look at him. Look at him. We have Nigel. I spotted Nigel. Oh, Nigel. But I actually did see a list, Nigel. They said the victory of President Trump was number one. Brexit was number two, but it was a distant number two. And even Nigel agrees with that. No, Nigel's been fantastic. What a voice. He's a great voice, great guy. Thank you. Thank you. It's an honor to have you. It's an honor. They know, Nigel. Brexit, Mr. Brexit. But the level of enthusiasm, and I think you're going to see a great red wave tomorrow. And I think it's going to blow them away. And we get Florida, and we get Pennsylvania, and we're going to get New Hampshire. We're going to get New Hampshire. Yeah, they say get New York. Can you believe that? See the disadvantage. The disadvantage we have, because I think in certain ways you campaign totally differently. The disadvantage we have with the Electoral College, you automatically lose, I don't care if you bring back Abraham Lincoln and George Washington as his running mate. You lose New York, Illinois, and California, okay? So now you got three of the biggest, but you have three monster states. That's an automatic loss. So you're starting off, so then you have to run. And so we ran Florida, then we got Georgia. By the way, we're doing very well in Georgia. We got Georgia, we got North Carolina, we got Pennsylvania. That was a very important deal. We got Pennsylvania, we got everything. Then we got Wisconsin and Michigan. We said, whoa, remember they wouldn't give you the credit? We were 2 points short. We were at 98% of the vote tabulated, 98. And it stayed there for hours. And if I lost every single vote, right, and I still win. So I say, why aren't they calling Pennsylvania? They wouldn't do you the honor. And then they called Wisconsin, great state, and they called Michigan, which hadn't been won in years and years. And they took the glamour. So will you please give yourself the glamour this time? Give yourself the glory, okay? And make sure your governor doesn't cheat, okay, if you're good. Because they're known for very bad things, very, very bad things here. Can you imagine the pollsters saying you have to allow 5% in Pennsylvania for cheating? That's a terrible thing to say. Of course, everybody knows it's true. But we have a lot of eyes watching. They never had eyes watching. We got a lot of very powerful eyes watching them. They don't want that to happen to themselves. Together, we will defeat the corrupt establishment and will dethrone the failed political class. We will drain the Washington swamp, and we will save the American dream. We're going to save the American dream. This election is also a choice between a deadly Biden lockdown or a safe vaccine that ends the pandemic, and we build the greatest economic country that we've ever had. There'll be nothing like it. We will mass distribute the vaccine. You know, we've done such a great job with this whole thing. You look at Europe, they're spiking. It's everybody, you know, they'd say, look at the way Germany's doing. Look at the way France is doing. Look at Spain. Look at now Italy, right? You know, Italy had a really rough patch. Then it went, well, they're all having a lot of problems. You know, I said, well, they don't use those examples anymore. But we have better numbers than all of them. You look at our numbers, they're better, and it's bigger, and you don't get a lot of the numbers you don't get, because believe it or not, there are some countries that don't give you an honest kick, right? You know that, right? It will quickly eradicate the vaccine, will quickly eradicate the virus, and wipe out the China plague once and for all. And let me tell you, we're rounding the corner anyway, but we have the vaccines coming very shortly. They didn't want to give me the credit. They were saying, no, don't. Oh, they fought me like crazy. Did you see that? They didn't want it to happen before the election, but everybody knows. So we have the vaccine. It's going to be very quickly delivered by our military. Our military is ready to go logistically. Joe Biden is promising to delay the vaccine and turn America into a prison state, locking you in your home. But you're already locked in your home, so I hope that doesn't take away any of your incentive. You're already locked in your home, while letting far-left rioters roam free. Isn't that something, right? You can't go to church. You can't take your family to dinner. But you can let people riot down the middle of your beautiful shopping street, knocking the hell out of people, burning down your stores like in Minneapolis, burning the hell out of the place until we sent in the National Guard. That ended in 31 minutes. It was amazing when they started getting whacked with tears. I hope they weren't aiming. Did you see Ali Velcher? He went down. Ali, I don't even know who the hell he is. I just know he does a very nice job of shaving his head. This is Ali Velcher. And this is a friendly protest. And behind him, the entire city is burning. It's like Berlin on its worst day, right? This is a friend. You know, they don't report. You know, if you have a bad, like in a Democrat-run city, they don't report it. Nobody even, I don't watch CNN, actually, so I don't know about it. But I did see the clips. And didn't Ali Velcher then get hit on the knee with tear gas from our great National Guard? No, he got hit. He went down. I'm down. I'm down. What a group of people. CNN, how dishonest is CNN? But you know what? I think NBC is more dishonest than CNN. I think NBC and ABC, I think ABC is terrible. I mean, ABC is absolutely. How about where they interview me and every question is a kill? They're going for the kill. And then they interview Sleepy Joe and it's like, oh, the most boring interviews. They don't ask him anything. They don't ask him whether or not he's corrupt. Are you corrupt? Hey, Sleepy Joe, are you corrupt? Remember, I asked him that question, and Chris Wallace of Fox wouldn't allow it. I said, why? Why? Why won't you? Well, I don't think it's appropriate to ask right now. Chris Wallace, he is not Mike. He will never be Mike. He tries hard, but he will not be Mike. You know why? Doesn't have the talent. The Biden lockdown will mean no school, no graduations, no weddings, no Easter, no Thanksgiving, no Christmas, no 4th of July, and basically no future for American youth. Other than that, actually, it's quite a wonderful thing. Okay? A vote for Biden is a vote for lockdowns, layoffs, and misery. You're going to have a miserable time. You know what the fake news doesn't know? They're getting the highest ratings in the history of television. When Trump is gone, they're all going bankrupt. They will go down. They're going to say, oh, I wish. They're going to be calling, we want Trump to run again. We want him to run again. The fake news. The New York Times, the failing New York Times, will be out of business. No, can you imagine? Yeah, 4 more years. It's true, though, right? Can you imagine these people? They're getting the highest ratings on television. They've taken over for the NFL. People don't like. How about basketball? How about LeBron? I felt badly for LeBron. I felt very badly. Down 71%. And that's for their champion. I didn't watch one shot. I get bored. Back, forth. You know why? When they don't respect our country, when they don't respect our flag, nobody wants to watch. Nobody. And the NFL is way down. The NFL is way down. You got to stand for our flag. You got to really be great to our flag and to our anthem. And if you don't do that, we're not watching. What a crowd. What a crowd. Hey, I have 3 more of these to do. Do you want me to stay with you all day? Yes. So yesterday I did 5. I actually did 6 because I did one early for some people. But I actually did 6. But I did 5. I got home at 2 o'clock in the morning in Miami. I got home 2 o'clock in the morning. And I said, good. What time do we start tomorrow? 8 o'clock, sir. Oh, I said, great. Let's go. But you know what it is? I'm doing a run, a great, great marathon. Everyone, even one thing I'll say, they say, I can't believe, because Sleepy Joe will go out, he'll talk for 10 minutes. He's very agitated, He's so angry. Okay. He's got the shades on now. They should be a little bit larger. The aviators, right? Are they called aviators? He's got the aviators on, and he's so angry. And he's reading every word. He never goes off teleprompter because he gets lost if he can't go off teleprompter. He gets lost. No, but the anger, but it's not really anger, it's agitation. You know what that means, right? That's what happens is when you lose it, you get can happen to all of us someday. But you can't let it happen to your president, I'm sorry. But he was so angry, he was so agitated this morning. The glasses were pouring off, the mask he kept on. Oh. There's nobody around him. The closest person's about 60 feet away. A reporter that can't believe he got this good location in a circle that's supposed to be for VIPs, right? Now he's got Lady Gaga. Lady Gaga is not too good. I could tell you plenty of stories. I could tell you stories about Lady Gaga. I know a lot of stories about Lady Gaga. And John Bon Jovi, every time I see him, he kisses my ass. Oh, Mr. President. But he'll get something out of it, just like everyone is. But you know what happens? You bring in some of these guys. They don't draw. By the way, we draw much bigger crowds than these people. But you know what happens? He'll sing a song or two, and then he'll leave, and the crowd will leave, and Sleepy Joe's up there talking. That happened to Hillary, too, right? They got Beyonce, and they got Jay-Z, right? Jay-Z. And he started using the F word, do you remember, in front of this crowd? And it was unbelievable. He was using the F word, and the crowd is going. And then they left, and the crowd left, and Hillary was standing on stage with an empty place, and she was talking. And she lost, and people were surprised. Let me tell you something. When you look at these crowds that we're getting, there's never been anything like it. This is just not the crowds. This is your ultimate poll. This is not the crowds of a second-place finisher. They said yesterday, well, some people are here since, Nigel, they're here from 24 hours, 48. We have people in line for 3-4 days. And then the press says, but will they vote? Well, wait a minute. They're willing to wait 4 days, 3 days, 2 days, 1 day online. Will they vote? Will they stand there for an hour and vote? I think they're going to vote. Who is going to vote? Okay, and seriously, is there anybody here who's going to vote for Sleepy Joe? Anybody? No? Is there anybody that would have the courage to put up their hand? No. Oh, but he was born in Scranton. What a phony he is. He was born in Scranton. I'm a Scranton boy. Did you see? I'm tired of the smart people. Did you see where he said yes? I'm tired of the smart people. But we want a smart person as president. You got to have a smart. No, he said it. He made a lot of bad moves yesterday, didn't he? He was having a bad day yesterday. He's tired of smart people. No, I can't get too tired of him. To me, that's an amazing statement. If you want a vaccine to kill the virus, a job to support your family, and freedom to live your life, then go cast your ballot. You cast your ballot. We're changing things to, you could say, what it used to be, but maybe it used to be a little bit like this, but it was never like this. Things change, I think, with big tech. I think it really changed. Joe Biden personally ran the swine flu, right? He ran H1N1. Remember, he can't remember that. He always goes, no, N1H1, isn't it? No. H comes before N, Joe. Just remember it that way. H1N1 swine flu. Remember he said, what was that called? Who was that governor from, I think it was Utah. He's a Mormon. What was his name? His name was Romney. Oh, great. He's another beauty. He failed horribly, and he was the laughingstock of Washington. So he ran the swine flu operation. He was the laughingstock of Washington. Now on something much more lethal that we have done a great job on, except with public relations. I would say if I had Nigel handling my public relations, I would have been much better. We have done a great job on this, and you compare us to other places, and you see, and bringing back the economy, opening it up, except on public relations. But his own chief of staff said that he was absolutely terrible. He didn't have a clue. He didn't know what he was doing. And he told us, right, that I was xenophobic because I closed it to China, which was highly and heavily infected. And then he runs and he says, I should have closed it earlier. I said, how does he get out of that one? You know how he gets out of that one? The press doesn't report it. They refuse to report it. The only way I can do that is, look, I got all live television, all the lights. And the only way, they can't keep it off, only for one reason. I get very big ratings. If I didn't get big ratings, there'd be no way of communicating. Oh, and they're going to miss those ratings someday. Someday they're going to miss them. Secretary of Defense Robert Gates said that Biden has been wrong on nearly every single major foreign policy and national security issue over the past 4 years. Now, he worked with Biden. He worked with him. And he said he was wrong on like everything. And he is. And he is. But you don't have to take my word for it. Because this happens to be a state that I love, I spent a fortune on building these screens. Like, you got 2 of them. Wow. Usually I bring 1. It's a lot cheaper. Roll the video, please. Roll it. Wait.
Joe Biden. Joe Biden. Joe Biden.
Have you taken a cognitive
No,
test?
I haven't taken a test. Why the hell would I take a test? Come on, man. That's like saying before you got in this program, you take a test where you're taking cocaine or not. What do you think, huh? Are you a junkie?
What do you...
By the way, this is my little sister, Valerie, and I'm Jill's husband. Oh, no, you switched on me. This is my wife. This is my sister. They switched on me.
But I tell you, if you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, then you ain't black.
There is not a single solitary reason in the world why, as I said, we shouldn't be in a position that everybody, and that's my wife, Jill. Hey, Jilly, I'm Jill's husband, actually.
And Corn Pop was a bad dude. And he ran a bunch of bad boys. And I did. And back in those days, you show how things have changed.
Play the radio. Make sure the television, make sure you have the record player on at night. The phone. Make sure the kids hear words.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women created by you know the thing.
Because if you could take care, you were a quartermaster, you can sure and help take care of running a department store thing, where in the second floor of the ladies department. You know what I mean?
Well, I'm sick and tired of smart guys.
The rapidly rising I don't know. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier.
Why attack Sanders? Why? Oh, you're getting nervous, man.
What kind of country we're going to be? 4 more years of George, he's going to find ourselves in a position where if Trump gets elected, we're going to be in a different world.
Lie after lie after lie after lie. We have to come together. That's why I'm running. I'm running as a proud Democrat for the Senate. And by the way, I sit on the stand, and it get hot. I got hairy legs that turn blonde in the sun. And the kids used to come up and reach in the pool and rub my leg down so it was straight, and then watch the hair come back up again. They'd look at it. So I learned about roaches. I learned about kids jumping on my lap. And I've loved kids jumping on my lap. Barack and I think it's a right for people to have bad health care.
We have to do at least several things. One, we have to depend on what the president's going to do right now. And first of all, he has to wait till the cases before anything happens. Look, exacerbating the need for environmental justice. Sorry, as a bug.
Folks, we got a lot of work to do. I don't need you to get me elected.
The case where we cannot let this, we've never allowed any crisis from the Civil War straight through to the pandemic of 17, all the way around 16. We have never let our democracy take second fiddle. We can both have a democracy and elections and at the same time correct the public health.
Everywhere I've been hearing all around the country. You're trying your best, but it never feels like enough. Thanks. And here comes the train that he tried to make sure didn't continue to run. No, that's the commuter. All right. No, that's what. But folks, look.
Anyway, I am very willing to let the American public judge my physical and my physical as well as my mental fitness.
I'll lead an effective strategy to mobilize true international effort to pressure.
All right. We shouldn't be laughing. Don't let that happen to our country. By the way, that was just a small. We could keep you there all day watching that. No, we can't let that happen to our country. We're joined by some real warriors. Dan Mauser. Where's Dan? Where are you, Dan? Dan, Congressman? Where are you, Congressman? Where's Dan Muser? Muser! Thank you very much. Thanks, Dan. Fred Keller, G.T. Thompson. That's good. With you, with the three of you, what warriors you've been. And thank you very much. They were there at the beginning, and they have been with me all the way. And you have a couple of former members that we love, that we think are great, Lou Barletta and Tom Marino. Thank you very much, Tom, Lou. Thank you. Thank you very much. How are your elections going, by the way? Dan, how are you guys going? Are you doing good? We're going to win Pennsylvania. It's a guarantee. Good. That's good. So you got to vote for those guys. That's a great group. So your districts are looking good. You need an extra tweet or anything? You don't need? I don't think, this group doesn't need anything. And also, thank you, fellas, for coming. When are you going to rerun for office, Tom and Lou? Do you have anything you're thinking about? Look at them. They look healthy as can be. Congressional candidate Jim Bognett. Thank you, Jim. Thank you. And a woman who is doing an incredible job, campaign chair, Bernie Comfort. Bernie, thank you. How's it going, Bernie? We're going to have a big victory tomorrow, I think, huh? We're going to have a big one. We better, Bernie. I'll fire you so fast. Another great friend of mine, a great guy, David Urban. David, thank you, David. And somebody that I know very well, he's a tall young gentleman. His name is Eric Trump. And he's done great. He's done great. And I see Jared Kushner right over here, Middle East Peace. Wow. Jared usually likes to stay in the plane and work. He's working on Middle East peace and doing a great job. You see what we're doing. Thank you. Thank you very much. For decades, our politicians spent trillions of dollars rebuilding foreign nations, fighting foreign wars, and defending foreign borders, but not defending our border. But now we're finally protecting our nation, rebuilding our cities, and we are bringing our jobs, our factories, and our troops back home to the USA where they belong. For 47 years, Joe Biden viciously attacked black Americans. He called young black men super predators all the time. To every black American, go tomorrow and vote for Trump. This is your one and only chance to show Sleepy Joe Biden what you think of his decision to attack you, jail you, and betray you, which is what he did. I'm fighting for you, and I got criminal justice reform, prison reform, opportunity zones with Tim Scott, the senator from South Carolina, who's great, and funding for historically black colleges and universities. We got them the funding, long-term funding. And I say it all the time. I say it like this, with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln. A lot of people like me to leave the word possible out. There is no president that has done more for the black community than Donald Trump. It's true. And you're seeing that, by the way. You see what's going on in Florida? The numbers are very high, like nobody's seen before, with the black community and with the Hispanic American community. Oh, the Hispanic American, they're liking Trump. I've done a lot for them, and they like me, and I like them. I always have, actually. And they are voting for us very big. They're coming out in Florida in numbers, and the Democrats are very worried. They say, what's going on? What's going on? You know what's going on? I've done a good job. That's what's going on. So I want to thank, we have to see what the final numbers are, but I think I can say in advance, African American community, Hispanic American community. It's been incredible what's gone on in Florida. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. You notice they're not talking about Florida too much, right? They're not talking. We get Florida, we get Pennsylvania, you watch. Under my leadership, we achieved the most secure border in U.S. history. You know, the wall is over 400 miles long. It'll be finished soon. And they don't talk about that one anymore either, do they? They don't talk about it. You know, when you have success, they never talk about it. And you know what's happening. You know what's going on, right? I mean, other countries are coming in. They're studying what we're doing. All over the place they're studying. Because what we've done, nobody's been able to do. Joe Biden has pledged open borders, free health care for illegal aliens. No, not for you. No. See, I delayed that a little bit. No, free health care for illegal aliens. They want to give them more than they give us. And deadly sanctuary cities. We believe our cities should be sanctuaries for law-abiding Americans, not for criminal aliens. The Biden-Harris plan would increase refugees from terrorist nations by a staggering 700%, flooding into your towns and cities. I am keeping, if it's okay with Pennsylvania, I am keeping radical Islamic terrorists the hell out of our country. Is that okay? You know, I passed a ban early on, and it ultimately got approved by the United States Supreme Court, but I passed a ban because we want people coming into our country that can love us and come in through merit and all sorts of things. We don't want people coming into our country that hate us, can't stand us, and want to do harm to our citizens, okay? So the ban was quite controversial, but it's had a big impact. It's had a big impact. And you know, one of the reasons we're going to win Minnesota? Ilhan Omar. Ilhan Omar. Although she loves our country very much, she loves our country very much, doesn't she? We invested $2.5 trillion in the United States military. We have the finest military, the finest weaponry in the world. All made in the USA, with the envy of Russia and China and North Korea. We have the best equipment in the world, rockets and missiles and submarines, and everything that we're building. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. $2.5 trillion made in the USA. We also passed veterans. We passed for our veterans VA choice after 44 years. And VA accountability. Okay, VA account, that's where you say you're fired, get the hell out of here, you're not treating our vets right. I told you, we got the highest rating, the highest approval rating that has ever been given by our vets, 91% approval. Who are the 9%? Oh, they'll find somebody within the 9% to be on television. We obliterated 100% of the ISIS caliphate. We killed the leader of ISIS, al-Baghdadi. We eliminated the world's top terrorist. Soleimani is dead. I recognized the capital of Israel and opened the American embassy in Jerusalem. I also recognized Israeli sovereignty over the Golan Heights 52 years. They worked on it for 52 years. And instead of endless war, we are forging peace in the Middle East. Good job, he's doing. Good job, my man. A vote for me and the Republican Party is a vote for the American dream. And who was a very distinguished person within the Republican Party? The late, great Abraham Lincoln. Please remember that. He was very presidential. He's the only one I said maybe I can't be that presidential, but he was very presidential when he wore the hat especially, right? Over the next 4 years, we will make America into the manufacturing superpower of the world, and we will end our reliance on China once and for all. That's already happening. We will hire more police, increase penalties for assaults on law enforcement, and we will ban deadly sanctuary cities. You've got them. You've got them. With God's help, we will defend the right to life, religious liberty, and the right to keep and bear arms. Your Second Amendment is gone if I don't get in. If I don't get in, your Second Amendment, wave goodbye. And I'll be sitting home and I'll be saying, I told the people of Pennsylvania, you better vote for Trump. Now, your Second Amendment is under siege. That's right. We put Amy on. You happy with Amy? Everyone loves Amy. Thank you. You know, we do. They don't talk about that enough. They say it's the most important thing a president can do. So at the end of my first term, I will have approximately 300 federal judges, which is a big percentage of the judiciary, and 3 great Supreme Court justices. That's a lot. Many presidents have gotten to choose none. Hey, whatever happened to packing the court, you know? This guy's running, he never gave an answer. Maybe he's smarter than we think. Whatever happened, he never gave the answer. He never said, he said he was going to tell us. We're running, you know, people are casting votes. You cannot elect somebody that's going to pack the court, and he's going to pack the court. And he didn't give us a list of the radical left judges he wants to put on either. So he got away with it. See, he got away with it. He just did because the press never pressed him, right? See, there's the case. If that were me, I could never, ever get away. He got away with it because the fake news wouldn't press it. He never talked about packing the court, and we're voting right now. He shouldn't get a vote unless he tells you, because you will destroy this country. That's a big thing, packing the court. Can you imagine? But they never picked it up. We will maintain America's unrivaled military might, and we will ensure peace through strength. We will end surprise medical billing, require price transparency, lower drug prices. You know, we're doing favored nations. We're going to have the lowest prices anywhere in the world. The drug companies hate me so much. They are spending more money on ads than Sleepy Joe Biden. And we will always protect patients with pre-existing conditions. America will land the first woman on the moon, and the United States will be the first nation to land an astronaut on Mars. NASA was like an abandoned place, and now it's the hottest place in the world for space. And that goes along with Space Force, doesn't it? We did Space Force. We never even talked about Space Force on the campaign, but we needed it. When I saw Russia, when I saw China, we needed it. We got it approved. We will stop the radical indoctrination of our students and restore patriotic education to our schools. We will teach our children to love our country, honor our history, and always respect our great American flag. And we will live by the timeless words of our national motto, "In God we trust." For years, you had a president who apologized for America. Now you have a president who is standing up for America and standing up for the great people of Pennsylvania. I know you well. I know you well. You're a rowdy bunch today, but that's okay. It's rowdy, but it's rowdy with love. It's rowdy with love. No. Tomorrow you have the power with your vote to save America. We will never be a socialist nation. That's what we're talking about. Or you're going to be a large-scale version, very large-scale of Venezuela. That's what happens. It happens every single time. So get your friends, get your family, get your neighbors, get your co-workers, even grab your boss by the tie and say, "Come on, boss. Let's go. We got to vote. We got to vote." For generations, America's destiny was made, forged and won in places like Bethlehem and Bristol, Easton and Allentown, Pittsburgh and Scranton, right here in Scranton. Our American ancestors gave their blood, sweat, and tears to defend our country and to defend our freedom. We stand on the shoulders of American heroes who crossed the ocean, settled a continent, tamed the wilderness, laid down the railroads, raised up the great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America into the single greatest nation in the history of the world, and the best is yet to come. Proud citizens like you help build this country, and together we are taking back our country. We are returning power to you, the American people. With your help, your devotion, and your drive, we are going to keep on working. We are going to keep on fighting, and we are going to keep on winning, winning, winning. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. And together with the incredible people of Pennsylvania, go out and vote tomorrow, please. We have made America powerful again. Our military has never been as even close to what it is right now. We have made America wealthy again. We have made America strong again. We have made America proud again. We have made America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Pennsylvania. Thank you, Pennsylvania.